Welcome to the second inaugural Flux Bug Scrub event. It's Thursday, July 8th, and we'll get started now. So on the screen is the Bug Scrub spreadsheet that is a tool to help us avoid backtracking. So first, to explain what that means. What we're going to do for the bug scrub, there's this column, stale age. That's a calculated column from some hidden columns in here, created and updated. So this is an export of all of the Flux issues and PRs from the Flux CD org, with the exception of some that were not included for various reasons. Each one has a created date and an updated date, and that's pretty limited, but we really only need one number to sort by. So what I did is I took and made a composite of them. So kind of a constant number here. This is really just to try to order the issues in a reasonable way so that issues that are more recent are at the top and issues that are more stale are at the bottom. So we don't really need these columns anymore, so I hide them. And then what we'll do, since the issues that are more recently opened are probably less likely to be stale or need hygiene, we're just going to lop them off the top. So there's a filter in here, do filter view, and have this filter configured called medium stale age. So anything with a number 2 to 5.5 in here we'll see, and everything else we won't see. Then the next thing we can do is try to decide, see, this is still a fairly long list, more than we could possibly get through in a single 1-hour meeting, whether we have a particular repository we're more interested in, or if there are any that we're definitely not interested in. So last week we worked on the community repo and the website repo. And so this week we're going to skip those for sure. And that's still quite a large list. So I have here with me, I'm sorry I didn't get your name and the...
Yes, Andreas.
Andreas, I'm Chingan.
Hi.
Nice to meet you. First time participant in our Bug Scrub event. Just curious if you have any particular interest in any part of Flux more than others. I know you mentioned already proxy issues, so that's something we can look for while we're in here.
Exactly, yeah.
Here's the one actually that I just mentioned, I think, unless this is yours. Flux 2, no, this is...
No, I didn't create an issue so far or a discussion.
Okay.
I can check if one of the issues I've found is on the list.
So we can come back to that. Just to finish explaining the process for anyone who's watching asynchronously or might have joined us. We'll try to spend less than about 2 or 3 minutes on each issue. And really, we're looking to see if there's anything that we can do in an issue. So when we visit the issue, this issue cluster is inside the company's network, need HTTP proxy to connect to the internet. Is there any way to configure the environment variables into the Terraform template? Okay, so this is related to the Terraform provider. So I personally don't know much about the Terraform provider, and I think that's a good candidate for another one to take off the list. The first few minutes of the bug scrub are generally going to be spent narrowing the list down. And the second thing I want to explain here is the purpose of this column, so that we can make progress quickly. We have emojis, so we can count that issue as done. We just visited it, or it's not really counting it as done because we haven't done anything. So I just marked it as interesting. This is supposed to look more interesting than this one. So as we go down, if there's an issue, these are really also meant to be used in bulk. So like if I said I wanted to visit all of these issues, then I can mark them all like this and go like that, and then we'll come back and visit all those issues. But it's meant to be like distributed and asynchronous, and just to give you the most minimal progress that you can make and tangibly say that was made. So we just touched 10 issues. That's lots of progress. First 10 minutes. We haven't really done anything, but as we move on, we'll actually make more progress and do more with each issue. So let's actually do something with this one. I'm going to give it a label. Since now I have the triage role, I can do that. And once I have, let's see, this is a question. No, yeah. Have to try to figure out if we're using the labels correctly. This one says further information is requested. I'm not sure that's what I would interpret the question label to mean. I'm just going to mark this as a question. Let's move on to the next one. Pod security policy. Yeah, this is another Terraform issue. So we said we were going to take those out of the list. Okay. The other thing that we did that made this, I think, a lot better, if you don't mind sharing your screen, are you willing to drive? It's just to make this move faster. I feel like I'm a little bit too entangled with this stuff, and I want to go like a little bit slower. Last time we had the other person drive, and it made things go a lot faster and better.
Okay, I mean, I don't feel too confident about it, but I can try it if you want. Or were you asking the other participant?
Hello, Joses. Welcome. If you don't, we'll just have someone else drive is what I'm, could be Joses. Joses, did you find the spreadsheet already? Oh, chat. Hey. Okay, well, I'm just going to enable screen sharing for everybody. Joses is a friend of mine. It's not a Zoom bomber.
Sounds good.
And all participants can share. Okay. So if you go to the data menu and select under filter views, filter on station, medium stale age, then we're looking at the same thing.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay.
Yeah, earlier I was looking for this proxy related thingy. So, okay. So basically we would proceed with the next one, which does not have an icon yet, or
don't read too much into the icons.
Okay.
They're really more helpful as we've done more of these meetings and they get more populated. I would just say let's move on to the next one and open it in a new tab, and we'll talk about it. And I can help with note keeping. Joses can help with note keeping, and we can distribute ourselves if that makes sense. Since, okay, let's see, context deadline exceeded. Okay, so I asked a question on this one, and we got I remember this issue. Okay. So I think this was a support request and we can close it. I'm going to mark it as a question and just close it.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay.
Enable to bootstrap cluster.
There is no git implementation argument to the bootstrap command. That is true.
Yeah, I mean, I was wondering about this as well, what your policy is about what you provide in Bootstrap and
So it's
what
less,
you don't.
I can tell you it's less about policy and it's more about necessity, I guess. The way, Bootstrap has at least 3 ways you can use it. You can use it with a plain Git repository, so with no separate API, or you can use it with GitHub or GitLab. And each of those ways has a special case, at least one, since GitLab has hosted instance that you can use, GitLab Enterprise Edition, and so does GitHub. Those are all supported, but sometimes they have a different, something different about them. Anyway, there was a reason in particular why we couldn't use libgit2 for Bootstrap. And here it is. It says we can't use it since then the Flux CLI could only run on macOS and Linux machines. Oh, because this stuff happened in Flux CLI, and compiling libgit2 and linking against it on Windows is apparently not something we can likely do. So
Okay, I see.
I guess I'm going to mark this one as not, won't fix, and just close it. Okay, add none, update reconciliation strategy. So what is this person asking for? Have you figured it out yet?
No, I'm not completely sure what it's supposed to mean. Sounds like doing nothing. I don't know.
Doing nothing
on purpose.
On upgrade or on remediation? Oh, okay. So if the upgrade fails, retrying can be unsafe, but it's probably better than requiring manual intervention. We could set, ideally we could set no remediation strategy and just attempt the upgrade indefinitely.
Okay, and the scope is exclusively Helm, the Helm controller.
Yeah, because it's remediation. So when you have you used Helm controller much?
No, not really. So we're basically only using Customize.
Okay. Let's see, this one is
so far at least.
268. Well, I'm not sure we're going to have anything to add, and it doesn't look like this one is really particularly stale. So I'm just gonna give it a check mark.
Okay.
And I've started updating the read yet column on the spreadsheet here. So you can see the metal usually means it is closed or can be closed, and the check mark means we've done all we can do. And actually, while we're here, since you're not really a Helm controller user, let's take that one out too.
Sounds good.
Okay. Yeah.
That sounds familiar.
Source is not ready. Artifact not found. Yep.
But could probably be any number of reasons, right?
So we got update at the bottom. It worked. What is this?
Hey Kingdon, I'm just gonna follow what you guys are doing and try to figure out some of these issues, what they are.
Yeah, that's cool.
I'm here in the chat.
Were you able to get into the spreadsheet?
Yeah, I was. It took me a while to set up Zoom and everything on my new Linux machine, but I can.
Oh, you got the new computer. Cool.
Yeah. No camera.
What time is it there?
Right now it's, I think, 8 o'clock. No, it's 6:24.
What about you, Andreas?
It's 5:30 p.m.
Okay. Cool.
in Europe. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It looks like only the secret was missing, and that was it. So looks like it can be closed, right? Or anything later?
Yeah. This was. Not sure if we need to put a label on it if we're going to close it. So I'm just going to write that it looks like this is resolved and close it. Was there anything about this issue that is undocumented, or I can't really see? It just looks like something's missing. The secret reference is missing.
I'm not sure if we see everything that's interesting or fetched revision. Fetched revision. Unable to clone error creating a seed. Do you mean if there could be documentation improvements or logging improvements or something like this?
Yeah, that's generally what I'm fishing for. It's difficult to figure that out in a minute or two. I think I don't see anything, and it's set for 8 days, so I think it's safe to close it.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Okay.
Oh, by the way, how do you?
Hmm?
How do you handle the priority actually of things, of issues you can't upvote or something, right? So things like thumbs up is
Yeah,
the best you can do, right?
Something you're interested in?
Basically, yes. So I think I would give it an upvote. Not terribly important, but yeah, would be relevant for us.
Let's see, is there a label we can add to this? Probably feature request or
yeah.
Well,
to be honest, I have no idea how Chocolatey manages
I think chocolatey works
things.
roughly like brew.
Yeah, I'm using it, but I'm not sure what has to be done if you want to provide something or make something available via chocolatey.
Let's follow the link and see what's in this. 3 days ago, Flux has been submitted as Flux. Wasn't sure how to add support for AMD-based architectures. I will keep this issue open until the package gets approved by the moderators. So this one, I think, is already well on the way. There's not much we can do, so I'm just going to mark it and move on.
Sounds good.
Unable to extract public key from private key. I think that I've heard of this issue.
Yeah.
This is one of the weird libgit complications that I was talking about. So libgit, there's at least two implementations. There's GoGit and there's libgit too. And now we're talking about a third implementation, which is shell out to Git and use the Git CLI directly.
Oh, that's possible. Okay, I wasn't aware of that.
It is possible, and I think that they really wanted to avoid it, and I think that they're not going to be able to avoid it because writing a feature complete Git implementation in Go is very complicated, and using the seed library is apparently fraught with problems. So what's actually happening in this issue is libgit has extremely limited capabilities with regard to what crypto libraries it uses, and some of them are out of date.
Okay.
And so some of the formats that you would really expect are accepted are actually silently parsed into garbage. And this one is already labeled as a bug. I'm not sure there's anything we can do for this.
Yeah, sounds right.
Do you add comments during this process, like what you just said?
Yeah, that's a good idea for this one, I guess, because it doesn't really explain what's going on here. I'm just not sure that I can explain it either. It's one of the things that's in the guidelines is we just try not to bump an issue unless there's really something we can add, and I'm not confident that I can explain this well.
Okay, so we basically leave it like it is, and
yeah, the maintainers are already really well aware of this issue, and it's one of the top issues for them. So I don't think we can add.
Okay, sounds good.
Deleting the default key for Helm release. Oh, that's interesting. So customized controller has a post build feature, and so does the Helm release.
I only read about this yesterday, I guess, but
what do you know about this?
not more than that it exists. I guess someone mentioned it in the Flux channel. I was planning to look into it, and it sounded like, I don't know, you can hook into something, do something, whatever that would be.
Yeah, the post build feature is really good for patching resources that you've already applied after the fact. The Helm controller has it's called post renderer support, which I'm not sure if this can be done, what this person is trying to do can be done with the Helm post renderer, or why they didn't try to use it, or why Stefan didn't suggest it. But I'm sure that he knows about that feature. Let's see, if you update the Helm release and set some other value to null, I'm just going to give this the customize label. And probably this is a variable substitution issue. Unsetting, deleting the default chart value. I'm not sure what to do with this one.
Yeah, since we don't use Helm controller, I absolutely have no opinion on it, to be honest.
So checking in before we get too far along, how do you feel this is going?
Okay, so actually I only wanted to listen, so it's fine for me, but I feel like I'm not sure if I'm useful in any way, or I think I'm not really
Do you feel like you're getting anything out of this so far? It's hard to say.
I mean, it's interesting to it's interesting to see what's going on. So that's why I wanted to join it.
Good.
Yeah, it's fine for me.
Yeah, I feel I'm getting something from this. You know, something is getting absorbed in my brain, even if I don't understand everything.
Yeah, that's okay. That's what we're going for. Good. This is really, it's partially meant to be a service, but it's mostly really meant to get drum up community engagement. So if you feel like you're getting something out of this, don't worry whether we're actually helping or not. I can assure you that we are, but the community engagement is the main goal here.
Yeah, I mean, it's totally fine for me, definitely.
Great.
Okay, yeah, I was, that's interesting for me as well, because I'm not sure what the changes in Customize 4 are or were.
Yeah, this is the big one here.
Yeah. I saw this ticket before, I had a quick look at it, but
so if you have any questions about this, I can probably answer them. I've had this question come up a lot in the support, but as far as what we can do to advance this issue, it's already properly labeled and it has lots of attention on it, so I'm not sure what we can add.
Okay, and just to understand the status.
So what happened was in Helm, in Flux 0.15, Customize 4 upgrade was introduced. And it was long anticipated, and it was known that it would break things because it's a major version number increment, and that's the significance of a major version number increment. It's supposed to signal if something is broken.
Yeah.
And the main thing that we knew that would be broken was go getter is removed. So there's a feature in Customize, or there was, where you could reach into an archive and select a directory from within there and use it like a remote base, like any other remote base with a proper URL, just by using filename.zip or 2 slashes or something like that. And that feature is basically gone.
Okay, and that only goes for bases and not for resources, for example?
The resources too. So there's at the section about remote archives. This is what I'm talking about up above non-string.
Okay, yeah, that's good to know, because
what works and what doesn't work anymore.
Okay.
So this thing with the 2 slashes here is not valid anymore. So if you find any examples that tell you to do something like that, they haven't been updated for Flux 0.15 yet.
Okay, so it's only reaching inside a zip and extracting something out of it.
And that's because GoGetter was just like this explosion of complexity of all the different packages that it pulled in, and all of their dependencies. Because for each archive format that you want to support, you need a package that knows how to deal with that archive. And then the rest of these issues, the non-string YAML keys, the duplicate YAML keys, I think they're all still customized bugs. Duplicate YAML keys actually, I think, is intentional, but it is a breaking change as well. So if you have, like, for example, if you have a customization, a Flux customization that defines the spec section twice, that isn't really valid, and kubectl apply doesn't care, but customize does care, and so it'll give you this horrible validation error that gives you a line number, and hopefully you can find it since it's a line number in all of your YAML files mashed together. And then this issue about YAML formatting.
Yeah, I read about this. So the format, the indentation you get when Flux changes something is different now, right? As far as I understood it.
It's meant to be 2 different issues. The YAML formatting is related to non-ASCII characters, and then the indentation change.
Okay.
Yeah. So even if there's nothing we can add to this one, it's good to talk about it because this is important Flux knowledge.
Yeah, absolutely. That's definitely good to know. Thanks.
So these are, this doesn't really break anything in Flux. It's for users of Flux.
For users of Flux who are using customizations, which is all of them pretty much.
Okay, so it's more like an announcement than like a bug, I guess.
Right. Well, we're tracking it as a bug because some of these things might be able to be resolved. And like one in particular, this thing about the non-string YAML keys is definitely a bug. That always worked before. Why shouldn't it work now? But you get this unsupported type. And anyway, it's left open just because it's more visible that way and people will find it. Even if these can't be fixed in Flux. Yeah.
Okay.
So we can move on to the next one.
Yeah, sounds good.
More questions, which is almost the same issue. Well, this one hasn't been responded, so I should probably give it a response. Oh no, I'm on a free Zoom account and it's going to cancel my meeting in a few minutes. Well, we are only, we have 10 minutes left then. So let's see if we can pick up the pace. Let's see, this is definitely customize related and the bug.
Okay.
Any questions?
Yeah, no, I'm just surprised that this, I mean, this sounds like very basic YAML parsing. So is Flux doing something specific here? But sorry, I don't know. So,
I think it's customized. I think, or it could be Go YAML.
okay, okay.
Anyway, it's an example of a breaking change that came from that upgrade. So I think
Okay.
it gets lumped together with those.
Okay, it's an upstream thing.
Yeah, I'm going to mark both of these as blocked on upstream. Checksum label is missing when prune is false. Oh yeah, this is by design, but I think there's a you know how pruning works?
Yeah, as far as I know, it's tracking if some object has been created before by Flux, and if it is then removed, it will be removed from the cluster as well.
Yeah, and it's complicated because you can't just look at the diff because we don't necessarily have the previous commit in our new clone of, you know, there could be a force push, or you could have restarted and the cache is gone and there was a force push. So what we have to do is mark every resource that we create while prune is enabled with a checksum of the commit that it was created in, or at least when it was applied last. And then when we apply a new commit that doesn't have that object in it, if we find the checksum, then we can delete it. I think that's pretty much how it works. So the checksum is only placed there since we don't really care what the value of the old checksum is. As far as I understand it, the checksum is only placed there if prune is enabled.
Okay, and I'm not sure if I completely understand it, but the scenario would then be you disable prune first and then enable it, and then you would expect to Flux to clean up more things, basically, or
when you disable prune, Flux will not clean things up at all anymore.
yeah, but sorry, if you have prune disabled first and then enable it, the current behavior means since the checksum was not tracked,
those resources will be left behind. That's right.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But they'll get, if they're applied again, they'll get the checksum label and then they can be deleted.
Okay. Okay. I mean, on the other hand, to me, it sounds like, oh, okay, that's a lot.
So there's a comment 2 days ago that says there's an implementation that uses diff, but it is not quite. And it says inclined on closing this issue as won't fix. And it's labeled won't fix.
Oh, that sounds interesting. I would be interested in digging into the details, but maybe some other time.
Yeah, it's the same. I like to know how a checksum is generated, but we should move through these bugs, I think.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. But just one thing, I mean, just from a user's perspective, for me, it would make sense to record checksums all the time. So I get the behavior I want when I enable prune later on. But yeah, that would just be my very high level view.
Yeah, I think the thing that they're really interested in is they want to be able to say exactly which the implementation in 379. I don't know if that's gonna get merged or not. They want to be able to say which resources were actually changed
Okay.
by a commit. So when you get the message from notification controller, it can tell you because if you look at it now, it basically tells you all of the resources in this customization were changed, which is technically true because they all had the prune annotation updated. But not very helpful because it doesn't tell you anything about what was actually changed in the commit.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So that's I see the difference between actual changes and just metadata or tracking changes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm just going to mark that as finished. Getting the head for a ref in a branch or tag. Oh, this is Go Get Providers. We skipped this issue last time too because I don't know really much about Go Get.
Okay, let's do the same.
I'm just going to filter these out again.
Okay.
Permanently repeated customization states in GitLab.
Okay, interesting.
Okay, I gave it a bug label here. Sounds like something changed in the GitLab API. Bill is on top of it, I guess. I'm not sure if that changes if adding a label changes the updated date, but we'll find out next week, I guess.
I guess so, yeah.
So the other thing I didn't explain, which I should probably explain before the meeting is closed and we are abruptly saying goodbye, is that all of the notes that we're making in this spreadsheet, so all of the columns that were pre-populated with user, title, repository, date, stale age, all that stuff, state. Next week, what we'll do is copy this sheet into another one, this worksheet, and use it as a data source. So there's a process that I built that generates this whole sheet from a CSV export and adds all of the data that stale age and things that we want to include, and the short link that is friendly and easy to click on. And it copies all of these status notes over. So we can reference the new sheet with all of the new age information and with any closed issues dropped, so we don't have to look at them at all. And it will copy all of the state data. So if last time we said the issue was